Hi everyone, Happy New Year. It's January 1st, 2013, and here on Cape Cod it's a cold, icy, snowy day. The sun is setting, it's a little after 4. I wish all of you a blessed New Year and hope that you do well in the next 12 months of 2013. Let's take a look at what's been happening before I give you my predictions for 2013. We saw that, as I predicted, Obama was reelected by a very tiny, thin margin. We did see that the royals are now pregnant. Blessed be. They haven't told us whether it's twins or not. We'll see. And of course, the world didn't come to an end a couple of weeks ago accordingly, because the Mayan calendar just started into a new segment. It did not end the world as we know it. So I smile at that a little bit and hope you all have done well and you didn't lose any money or finances in all the doomsday preparation type of things and scams that were going on. And speaking of doomsday preppers, um, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the economy right now. As I have been saying, it is not recovering. It is not going to recover. It is going to very slowly over the next 3 to 5 years find a new normal, but no time in the next 2 or 3 years are we going to see any kind of improvement in our incomes. As a matter of fact, with all the fiscal cliff stuff going on, we are going to see some more of our paycheck taken away. So on that note, I do want to let you know that somewhere in the next 12 to 15 months, we are going to see a consistent and continual rise in the price of the things we buy: milk, gasoline, food, clothes. So once again, I caution you to be very careful in your spending. Only buy what you absolutely need, not all the cool stuff that's out there that your kids want you to buy. Credit cards need to be discontinued. You need to stop using those credit cards unless you can absolutely pay for things without a problem. And one thing I want to share with you that I've seen quite a bit in the last 6 months is that the credit card companies are definitely suffering the lower use of credit cards and people who have had to file bankruptcy. Because what you see now in commercials is a lot of companies, whether it's Chase or Visa or MasterCard, whichever company it is, they are offering you a prepaid type of debit card service to use instead of borrowing money you don't have. If you have a bank account, it's called a debit card, and there's no extra fees for it. So if you do have a bank account, a checking account, I suggest you use your debit card and don't sign up for these Visa prepaid cards or MasterCard prepaid cards offered by the big institutes, because they're going to charge you a service fee for signing on and using that card. So it's just a debit card like the one from your bank, and your bank can give you a debit card and use your debit card without any extra fees if you watch what you do. So good for those of you who have cut up the credit cards, who have stopped using them, who have cut back on using them. Good for you. It's very hard to do, but in these financial times, credit cards are your worst enemy unless you're so wealthy it doesn't matter and you use them for convenience more than anything else. If you're trying to buy a home, of course, you need to have a credit history. I do understand. If you need a vehicle, you need to have a good credit history. So for those of you who are building your credit history with small credit card, go ahead and use that, but be sure you can pay it off 20 days after you use it, so there's no finance charge or interest fees charged accordingly. Make sure you pay it off within the 30 days that you use it, so you are not charged extra fees. So it's a little bit about the economy. And again, prices are going to go up on the goods we use. I'm told that in Iceland, a gallon of regular gas is now over $9. A friend of mine lives there and has sold his truck because he cannot afford $9 a gallon. And a lot of people are getting rid of their vehicles in the areas where gasoline is so highly priced and sharing. Maybe we need to do more of that down here, not just carpooling. But if you and your neighbor both need to go to the grocery store, maybe you can go in one vehicle instead of two. It does take planning and organization, but it may be well worth it as we try to cut back on our $3.50 to $4 gallon of gas right now, and that is going to go up. It's going to definitely go up. So please be careful of your spending. Plan your spending. Again, I offered some things I used to do was to make out a menu for the month, 2 weeks. That way you know exactly what you need to buy, instead of just going to the grocery store blind, because we all know what happens when we do that. We buy way too much stuff and things we shouldn't even be eating. So make sure you are not hungry when you go to the grocery store. and that you do some bulk buying, whether it's at Costco or Sam's Club or BJ's, whichever one is near you. It's much, much wiser to buy in bulk than to go to the grocery store every 2 or 3 days and buy what you need. I do know we need fresh things, and you can get those at the bulk stores too. Some things I understand need to be bought at the local grocery store. But let's cut back on our trips to the local grocery store because their prices are wicked high compared with bulk buying. I'm one person here in my home most of the time. I still go down to BJ's and buy bulk. And no, I don't have anything to do with BJ's. I don't get anything from them. It just happens to be the wholesale store in our area, so I do use it. And that means I buy bulk for 6 months at a time on all the paper goods I can and other things, so I don't have to spend a lot of money at the local grocery stores on paper goods, because paper goods are one of the highest priced, overpriced items in a grocery store. I'm sure you all know that. So let's take some time to think about how you can save your money, because prices are going to go up and the amount of money you have is going to go down, because the new taxes and fiscal responsibilities coming about this month are going to take more money out of our paychecks. So maybe it's time to sit down at the table and decide as a family how you can save money, how you can not have to spend everything you have, how you can turn that heat down, keep the lights off, keep things unplugged. And here in Massachusetts, we have a group called Mass Saves. That'll come in and do an energy audit on your house and can get you energy efficient for very, very little money. Mine was about $400, and the actual cost would have been $2,200. So there's lots of things you can do to cut back on energy cost and use, and on saving every penny you can, because like you, I don't have $1,000,000 put away that I can just draw on anytime I want. Just like everybody else, I work, I pay my bills, and I try to keep things down and buy things the least amount possible. So watch out for the economy. Again, the prediction is that prices will continue to go up, and money is going to come out of our paychecks more for taxes for the new fiscal year for the government, and we're not going to have as much to spend. So let's be really careful on what we do buy. As far as weather goes, as predicted last year, I did predict a big hurricane for New England. And a lot of you, I got some really wild emails from YouTube viewers who said, oh, you're so wrong, nothing happened. It's the middle of October. Hurricanes come in the summer and it's not here. And a week later, Superstorm Sandy hit. So hurricanes don't come when we think they should. They come when they want to be here. My heart and my prayers and my energy goes out to every single person affected by Sandy, not just New Jersey, Connecticut, New York, but all along from the Bahamas and the Caribbean, all the way up the coast and up in through northern states here. I am so sorry for the sorrows that you are experiencing, and know that I do send energy to you, and I hope that it definitely helps you to heal and be able to handle all the grief that comes, because every single person affected by Sandy is now grieving a loss. Remember, grief isn't just when somebody passes over, or dies, or crosses over. It's also when we lose something very precious to us. And when I was watching the coverage on Sandy, there was one woman on the New Jersey shore who went to her home and it was completely gone. Every single bit of her house was completely gone. A little bit of foundation and a front step was left. She's in her late 60s, mid to late 60s, and she just stood there and was in total shock and said, my whole life's disappeared. What do I do now? So I do hold you in my heart, and I feel a great deal of sorrow for those of you that have suffered any kind of loss, whether it be one window or your whole home or anything in between. And know that, yes, through the strength and the compassion and the love of the people along the shores and inland that got damaged, it is your inner strength and your love and your commitment to rebuilding your communities that will rebuild your communities. I look forward to being on the Jersey Shore again. It's been a few years, but I do look forward to coming down and walking along the Jersey Shore and the boardwalk once again to see how you're all doing. So do know that my prayers and my energy go out to you on a regular basis. And blessed be to all of you. Now, as far as weather goes here for the next year, New England, you are in for one heck of a winter storm. Whether they call it a blizzard or just a heavy, heavy winter storm, we are going to get hit, and it's going to be a whopper. So again, I caution you to prepare, just like we do emergency preparedness in the summer for tornadoes and hurricanes. Get your emergency preparedness kit ready. Over last weekend, we had this past Saturday, we had quite a bit of a storm here in New England. A lot of us had rain that turned to ice here on Cape Cod, and it's been wicked cold ever since, so nothing has melted. I keep hearing cracks and bangs as the trees and power lines lose the ice, but the ice is still on most of the trees and a lot of the power lines today, and I'm surprised we haven't lost power yet. And then further inland, you guys got hammered with anywhere from 1 to 2 feet of snow. This is just a warning. This is a heads up. We are going to have quite a winter storm here in New England, so please be prepared. Make sure that if you need a generator because somebody in your house is on oxygen or needs heat and such, that you're able to get one or you're able to find shelter. So prepare for a winter storm in New England. I don't know if it's going to be like, I think it was a storm of 78 I keep hearing stories about, but this is going to be one we talk about down the road. So please be prepared. I do not know when this one is going to hit. It could be in 2 weeks. It could be in 2 months. All I know is I've been talking to my guides time and time again for the last few months, and they keep saying there's going to be a memorable, incredible winter storm in New England. So let's keep our eyes on the Weather Channel and see what's going on. Now, as far as floods go, we are going to see quite a bit of flooding in the North Dakota area. So North Dakota, I believe I don't quite remember the name of the river up there. I keep thinking it's the Red River. I could be very wrong. If somebody could send me a note, just tell me what the name of the river is up there, I would greatly appreciate it. You are going to see quite a bit of phenomenal flooding in the late winter, early spring up there, so please be prepared. The last time that happened a number of years ago, it was incredible what happened up there with the flooding. So you're going to see flooding like that or similar to it again. As far as fires go, there's going to be an outbreak in the summer and fall again, like there was this year. Some areas are going to be hit again, and then some areas that haven't seen a fire in a long time are going to be hit. So please be careful and be prepared and do what you need to do to protect yourself. If they tell you to leave, please leave. Don't stay. You can always rebuild a house. You can take more pictures, but we can't replace you. You are precious and a wonderful, wonderful entity. Please do not dance with the fires. Please leave if you need to. And I did see, I think it was Extreme Makeover, where firefighters, I think it was in Colorado, a family had been burned out, and the family were firefighters. They have this stuff you can spray on your house. It's like a fire retardant. That was the coolest thing I've ever seen in a long time. So maybe you want to do a little internet research if you're in a fire zone, fire-prone zone, about looking at the stuff you can spray on your house and see if you can protect it from the fires. Now, earthquakes. And I have triple, quadruple checked on this one. Oregon, you're going to get hit by an earthquake, and it's going to be a pretty good one in areas that haven't seen a quake in a long time. So I don't even know what the fault lines are in Oregon, and I love all that kind of stuff. If I could go back to school, I'd come back as a geologist and a volcanologist. I just think it's wicked cool to study Mother Earth in that manner. But I do not know what the fault lines in Oregon are like. I know they do come up from California. Maybe the San Andreas moves up there and splits or does whatever it does. Maybe it's the PDQ-XYZ fault line. But Oregon is going to see an earthquake over the next 12 months. That's going to be pretty good sized. Maybe 5, 6, hopefully not any higher than a 6, but I got a hunch it's going to be. So Oregon, just kind of recheck where you are and what's going on, and know that the prediction this year is that there will be an earthquake in the Oregon area. They're flashing me India. The country of India right now is going to suffer triple climate threats over the next 7 months. India is going to see triple climate threats over the next 7 months. So whether that's floods or tornadoes or cyclones or earthquakes, I got a hunch of earthquakes in there somewhere. But the actual country of India, not Pakistan, but India is going to see a triple climate geological weather assault over the next 7 months. That's what they're just telling me right now. I didn't even write this one down, folks. This one is just coming to me as I speak to you, as I'm kind of scanning the world. And I did want to say something about the ice flow and the glaciers, that we hear a lot about how they're melting faster than usual. I am here to tell you I do not believe that that's true. I do believe that the CO2 emissions and the exhaust emissions we put in the air does damage Mother Earth and Father Sky. Absolutely does. It absolutely does. But as far as the glaciers and icebergs melting at a rapid rate. I think we're in a cyclic pattern here, as in there's an 11-year pattern with cold and heat from the sun. We are in a cyclic pattern as far as iceberg glacier melting goes. And maybe it's a 4,000-year pattern. Maybe it's a 200-year pattern, but it is a pattern. The thing is, we haven't been around to record it before, so it hasn't been seen. So my hat off to all the meteorological types and the climate types that are keeping record of our precious Mother Earth, because you are the ones that people are going to look at. They're going to look at the notes you kept 300 or 400 years from now and go, oh, so this is a pattern. So my hat goes off to all of you that are recording everything that's happening with our beautiful Mother Earth and Father Sky, so that we can learn from the progression, through the progression of time. Again, I am looking at tornadoes, and I do see that it's going to be another wild outbreak. As a matter of fact, there was those tornadoes on Christmas Day. Didn't that just blow you guys away? And I didn't mean to be funny, seriously. I'm so glad that there were not tons of deaths. I don't think anyone died from those tornadoes. If I'm wrong, please do correct me. But the strangest thing, I've been home for a couple of weeks and I had the TV on, and a couple of days before Christmas, they've had all these Christmas movies on many channels, and one of them was called The Christmas Twister, and I went, yeah, like there's going to be tornadoes on Christmas. What are they reaching at? And then sure enough, there were between 19 and 26 tornadoes, I believe, depending on where you were. So maybe next time I won't be such a wise guy and make comments like that. But again, the tornado outbreaks from now through the next year will be pretty much the same as they have been over the last couple of years. I know last year was a lot lighter than the year before. The year before was record. 2011 was phenomenal, and we just may see that again in different areas. A couple of those same cities are going to be hit again, but we've got some new spots, some new areas that are going to get hit by some F3 to 5 tornadoes this next winter and spring, as a matter of fact. We're going to see a bit of a warm-up here in the middle of the winter like we usually do, and for some reason, that's going to spawn some tornadoes. So let's keep an eye on what's going on the weather. Those are my predictions. Hurricanes, I've been asking my guides for the hurricane predictions, and they said I'm going to have to come back because they're not giving me any hurricane predictions right now for United States. I'm not seeing any hurricane predictions. All I'm seeing is into Texas, New Orleans, Louisiana, and then up the coast, but they're not giving me any specifics. So I'm going to leave the hurricane prediction at that and get back to you at another time when they can give me something more if they wish to. I'm just giving you what I get from my guides. And for those of you that are skeptic and think this is a bunch of hooey, if you would please keep your comments respectful. I do like to hear from the skeptics, but let's keep them clean and let's keep them respectful. And for the rest of you that send your comments, thank you so very much. I do appreciate your support. Let's look at one thing I did want to talk to you about, and I have not talked about this before in my predictions. I do talk about this to private clients and different groups, but today I'm going to bring up a new topic in my predictions. I want everyone to be aware that there's going to be a lot more UFO activity to be watched by human beings. It's out there all the time anyway. But now the UFO activity is going to escalate. More and more people are going to see this. So if you think you see something, write it down, keep a journal. There are things happening all over the place. And of course, we are not the only living beings in the whole wide universe. That's very arrogant and selfish to think that. That is my opinion, of course. But we are not the only living, breathing entities in the universe. There are many, many others, and they are far advanced as far as technology goes compared to us. And of course, there's some that are less advanced, and they're not flying around out there talking to us. So I do see quite an increase in UFO activity beginning right now today, right on through the end of the year. I'm going to keep a journal. I keep a list of when I do see these things. I have seen quite a bit lately, but starting today, and it is the 1st, I will keep a list. And if the rest of you would, and let me know if you see anything, and please, don't be a wise guy and send me a bunch of pranks. I'd really like to know what you're seeing and what's going on, because a lot of people will report this to the local authorities. Some of this stuff's going to be huge, and it's going to get reported, and nobody's going to know what it is. I live by a military base that is inactive, although there are drones that fly in and out of here, and the U.S. Coast Guard is here. So most of the time, I know those are drones flying overhead, or it's the Coasties chopper or their plane. And thank the divine that they're here. Those guys and women do an incredible job at taking care of everyone here off the New England coast. My hat, my heart go out to you. Thank you so much for serving your country and taking care of us. And for all of you in the military, thank you for serving your country. It is an honor and a privilege to have you taking care of me, by all means. So for all of you that are not here right now, that you're off and you've been deployed somewhere, know that my prayers and thoughts go out to you along with hundreds of thousands and millions of other people. We thank you. We love you. And again, thank you for being selfless in taking care of your country. And we all hope you're coming home soon. And I hope that everybody's home soon and doesn't have to be out there anymore. So, as I look over what Spirit has given me in the last hour, as I tuned into everybody, I've pretty much covered everything. I'm doing a quick sweep here to see if there's anything else out there we need to talk about. I don't see a lot. I would like to suggest that alternative energy use is a good idea for everyone. Go green as much as you can. Do all that recycling thing I've talked about in the past. If you can get solar panels on your house, at least you can cut down on the amount of electricity you use from a supplier. Try again to get your house as insulated and tight as you can. And please do recycle and take care of Mother Earth. That is it for the predictions. Oh, and yes, I'm going to be watching at Spirit. Spirit's just reminding me of something. They're telling me to keep an eye on the Royals. They're going to let us know whether it's one or two. I haven't heard, maybe some of you have, but I haven't seen any predictions on whether it's a single birth or it's twins. But we'll know girl or boy not too long from now. I think they are going to let that out. They're going to know, and I think she'll know sometime in March. End of February, first part of March, I think. They'll be able to tell whether it's a boy or a girl, or twins or single or whatever. But our prayers go out to the Royals. Congratulations, and our best wishes are with you. And I hope you're feeling better from your morning sickness, Miss Kate, because I had it too, and a lot of us didn't. It really sucks. So my thoughts go out to you for a happy, healthy baby and pregnancy. And that's it, folks. Those are the predictions for 2013. Weather, economy, government, no recovery seen in this economic time. We're just moving into our new normal. And just one cautious thing I would like to share with everyone. Don't believe everything you read or hear, because your media sources are only going to report what they think is the most fantastic, phenomenal, best rating news that you can get. And they tend to be biased on one side or the other, Republican or Democrat. So please don't take to heart everything that you hear and see. Do a lot of research. You are very wise people out there in this world. Use your common sense. All right? And don't jump off the deep end. I see these TV shows about the doomsday preppers. Oh my gosh. How absolutely crazy can people be? But if that's what you're here to do a good job. All right? Everyone, Happy New Year. I wish you all a blessed, healthy, and happy year in 2013. I look forward to your emails and your YouTube comments. Thank you so much, and blessed be. From Karmle, your Cape Cod Psych.